TheSmartLocal.com.
Hi.
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 Can you share with me your most memorable nursing encounters?
So last year, one of my family member went to the hospital because she had to go through a surgery and she was recovering. But because you just go through surgery, you don't have the strength to move, right? Even moving up the bed and sitting up straight, you need help. So my family member needed the help. And these two nurses, okay, think about it, okay? These two nurses are about my size and they are females. And they just leave my family member like it was nothing. So my family member was lying down like that. And they just like 1, 2, 3, whoop! And she just slide right up, And I was like, that looks so easy. But I cannot do it. I don't know where they get the strength because they look like me. And I have no strength. So throughout the recovery process, I do see the nurses, coming in every once in a while to just check on my family member. But at the same time, they make it like as if they're friends. Just like, yeah, okay, right? Okay. I think the great thing is they don't act in a way where the patient is a patient. You know what I mean? I also noticed for patients who are alone there and like don't have family members there at that point of time, the nurses will somehow go to them more to just talk to them a bit, check up on them. Whereas for patients who have family members there, for example me, they will give them their own space. But they'll still check, just that they won't chit-chat so much,
For me, there was one incident where it was most impactful, and that was when I was a little bit younger. I had a sports injury, and I think it was my very first time ever in my life where I have to be warded for an injury. So I was very worried about what I was going to do with myself afterwards. Will I ever be able to heal? In that moment of distress, it's as though like this nurse who I find, or rather I would try to think of her as my guardian angel, I would say. She walked past me and then she was like, "Hi, are you okay? Can I get for you like Milo or biscuit?" And at that point in time I was just like, no, I don't want anything. She literally sat by my bed and then she was like, "What's wrong?" Thing is, I didn't even say anything to her. All I felt was just a pure sadness and loneliness. So I just started to cry, and then she started to tell me stories, and then she talked to me about some funny incidents that happened to her, which made me laugh a little bit. I think it hit when she shared with me how her son back at home had a similar injury as me, and how he has been coping and how he's doing well at that point in time. I feel like she gave me that spark of like hope, that this is not gonna end, you're gonna heal.
So I remember being with my late grandfather in the dialysis center, and like while waiting for them to like attend to him, I saw how she interacted with the other patients, and it was like if there was a Malay uncle, then she would speak in Malay despite being Chinese, which is so cool, right? She can speak so many languages. She could even speak a bit of Tamil, even though like she was like a bit of mix of like Tamil and English. But it was so nice to know that she took the time to learn and to like make sure she was able to make them feel comfortable. You know how some elderly people, they can be a little bit more rough when they speak, but you could tell that she had it under control. Like she didn't see it as like, wow, why is this guy like scolding me? She was able to just make sure everything was in order, and I found that just so cool. These like small gestures, it might really seem really small and a little bit trivial, but I think that it's what matters the most when you take note of all the little things like this.
So I think the most memorable experience in my whole career is the COVID-19 that we are having now. During the phase of time when we really take care of the patient, then the first thing is that, will I get it? If I'm gonna get it, am I gonna spread to my loved one? Because I have a family and also a kid at home. I think during that point of time, we are quite encouraged that the government is able to secure a lot of PPEs for us and a lot of equipment for us to do our daily job. It gives us a sense of peace that we are working in a very safe environment. If you look back, it's actually very rewarding. It's the encouragement from the nation which actually spur us a little bit more. And also to see that our patient actually do recover over time, that actually gives us a little bit satisfaction and motivation to carry on.
Some fun facts that a community nurse encounter is you are like a mini MP in the area. Because you kind of walk around and everybody knows you somehow. Residents will be like, "Hey, I got eat my medicine today, Like yesterday you didn't work, what happened?" Like they care for you instead of like you care for them only. So it's a give and take kind of role. So those are the moments where we felt like, oh, okay, we are really important here. We really like the satisfaction of seeing patients improve. Them being empowered by us, moving from one stage of denial to a stage of achievement and setting their goals and being able to achieve it is something that both the residents and ourselves are very delighted in. I guess as community nurse, a lot of times people thought we go to houses to just do procedures. Actually, community nurses go to residents' house to monitor vital signs, check on their blood glucose, to make sure that we do proper health coaching, educate them according to like how things are placed, prevent falls, such stuff. Heart-to-heart talks are very important. Without that, a lot of things can't be done. They will just entertain you and Heart-to-heart talks, you will understand, oh, actually they don't like to eat medicine is because of this and that. Or they actually have phobias because of certain experiences that their family had or their friends had, and they hear say and they thought like, oh, because it's like that. So we will then need to educate them accordingly and address the issue to achieve the good outcome at the end.
My Wednesday uncle is like my favorite patient in H&M. Always without fail, every Wednesday as I tell him like example 11:30 to 12:30, right? So when you know 11:30 you work there, he confirm at the gate there already because I think he hear my luggage dragging there, and then he will stand there, hi, like he will welcome me, and at the end of the procedure then he will actually send me to the lift. I kind of feel like a special treatment. I think it's because through these years I take care of him, we tend to have small conversations, and then he will like ask what's your favorite color and all. So I think he remembers whatever detail I say to him. He will tell me like, oh, he feels very happy every Wednesday because can see me, and then like don't know why he just like to talk to me. It's like more of towards the listening ear lor. He only has like me to speak to, and then he don't really have families to open up with. Yeah, so I guess this every Wednesday half an hour visit matters a lot for him.
There was one incident where I had to nurse a terminally ill patient. Unfortunately, he passed on after I handed over to my colleague on the next shift. Death came at an instant and very quickly. I wasn't prepared mentally, and I feel like maybe I could have done better then. Something that brought me close to heart till this day is that even though it was just one shift that I took care of their loved one, the family actually thanked me. I didn't think my care would have made a great impact to the rest of the family.
I used to work in the wards, in a surgical ward so most of my fondest memories are from there. I used to care for patients with neural decline. Many of them are post-surgery, have dementia, or they have sundown syndrome. I had this patient who had just returned from a surgery. Before the surgery, he was actually quite okay. He was well and he was speaking to us normally. But after surgery, when he came back, he was having a lot of drains, tubes, and he was trying to pull them out and trying to climb out of bed, which actually makes it quite risky because they've just gone for a surgery and they may have a fall. So for this particular patient, we actually called the family member. We wanted them to come and speak to patient and at least make them feel assured. But because the family members were actually waiting in the hospital during the surgery, they had just gone back home to rest, and they had told us that they will come in the morning. While they really wanted to be there, we also wanted them to actually rest. So we told them that we will try to manage the situation at night and for them to go back home and rest. True enough, at night, our patient was trying to pull out and he insisted on going back home to where he was more familiar. So we tried to bend the situation sometimes, tell them that the bus captains are now resting to reduce the stress and the emotional distress that they're going through. So true enough, he felt more assured, and slowly after that, he actually fell asleep. In the morning, he actually looked much better. He was a bit more rational. I think it works two ways. I think the family got rest and we were able to work together with the patient so that in the morning he will feel better.
It takes a lot to be a nurse because you're not just caring for the physical well-being and health of your patients, but they are also kind of low-key taking care of the emotional health of each patient and always being friendly.
I do have like a few friends who are nurses, and like as an outsider, looking at their job scope is not easy, but to them it seems like they're very passionate about it. So I guess that's very important, right? You need to love what you do.
Some people think that nursing is just a basic job, don't need to study so much, which is not very true. Along the way, my other colleagues also take like a master course, which enable them to do more things. So there's a very wide spectrum of role that you can play in this field.
It's also a lot of soft skills, people skills, and being there for patients.
We actually work together with family, with the doctors and the allied health to think about patient in a holistic point of view.
Ultimately, our role becomes extended to not just being a nurse, we share the grief and the sadness together, deliver that human touch that I think everyone needs.
Community nursing is quite a out of hospital ward experience, and it actually not only help residents a lot, but it also enriches our own lives a lot.
Every new house, right, brings a new story. The thing is, you cannot really expect what is behind those doors that we visit. When you go in, right, then you will know that, hey, actually, every one of us are different lah, and that not everyone is as fortunate as we all are lah.
Thank you for watching this episode of Tell Me About It.
To know more about nursing, you can click on the link in the description below.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and watch our other videos over there. Bye!